Okay guys, we are back, and what I did was I rinsed the first wrap upstairs with my sink and really rinsed out to the best of my ability as a comic conservationist to a degree, all of the soap, and all is a poor choice of words because all is a word that if someone uses during litigation, you can really destroy them because all is 100%. And it's very rare that all is done. But I try to rinse out most of the actual soap. That's a better choice of words. So what do we got here? Here we go. Here is the first wrap of Roger's book. And what do we want to do? I think what we should do is let's get rid of some of this nasty paper by the staples. This is not doing anything for the book. It's not helping it in any way. So I want to remove it because we're going to put some new, nice, fresh casting in there. This will keep... Actually, let's take that away because that most likely will cause harm because there's rust. And if anyone knows about rust, rust does not help. Rust is a destroyer of things and even paper. So that's removed. We got rid of that. So what I want to do is I want to reinforce the spine when it's wet with some Tengojo paper. So how are we going to do this? You may see this and go, wow, how are you going to flip it? I'll show you. That's why we use Rime paper. Rime paper, excuse me, is one of the most essential tools, in my opinion, in a conservator's arsenal. If you don't have Rime paper, you're wasting your time. So I just flipped it. See how easy that was? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the piece, I'm gonna remove the piece of paper or Rime paper that was on the reverse side. So now what I want to do is I want to reinforce this spine of the first wrap as indicated with some nice Tengojo paper. And we're going to do it as follows. You're going to see it step by step, live on recorded YouTube. So here is my Tengojo paper, my small roll that I use right here. So I'm going to take a piece off and we're going to apply it onto the spine. Now this is really, I believe, the first time that I used Tengojo paper with the leaf casting on an interior page. So that looks about right. We're not making things exact right now. We're gonna do our best. And hopefully when we're done, Roger is going to have a beautiful book to read. Now here is your straight edge right here. So what I want to do is I want to, let's cut it. And I don't mind using a straight piece. And the reason why I don't mind using a straight piece for this application is because we are going to basically cover the Tengojo paper with leaf casting. So I am going to cut a piece and then maybe we'll fray it. I haven't decided yet, but let's just cut it to get going because that is the first step. And it doesn't have to be a perfect cut. And as you can see, this doesn't cut that easily. It basically is a difficult paper to cut because it's so thin. There it is, look at that, so thin. So let's see if I like what I did. This is the strip of Tengojo paper. And I am going to place it just like that. Now, one thing I don't like is that it's straight on this edge. And it's unfortunate, but I do think that we may have to get some leaf casting on the graphics for this. And I always do leaf casting on the interior side of the paper because once it's folded, you will not see it as much. So right now, I'm going to tell you I don't like this. I think I'm going to widen the Tengojo paper and we're going to fray it because this spine is so brittle and the interior page is so brittle that I think it will benefit from a wider piece of Tengojo, even if the Tengojo overlaps the graphics. I would not mind having a hazy graphic versus one that is brittle. So what I want to do now is I want to fray the edges. So as you can see, I am fraying the edges or the pieces that I cut because when people use, and I see it all the time on YouTube, and I'm not disparaging anyone and I'm not saying they do it wrong, but when they use archival tape and they just take the piece and they go, oh, I used archival tape, I'm doing a good thing, and they put a straight piece of tape on a document or a comic or whatever they're doing, you're not doing any service to the document because you can clearly see it. And I think an important aspect of conservation is not only to make the book as user-friendly as possible, where you can actually use it, but also to do it in a way that is the most aesthetically pleasing. And I know I may have said things in the past that don't conform with what I'm saying now, but that's my view right now. And an example of that view is when I take time to make pulp that I try to match up so well with the color of what I am leaf casting. I can easily just make 1, 2, 3 paper pulp and say that's all you wrote, all she wrote, and put it on. It will be 1, 2, 3. Believe me, I spent a lot of time going over the paper pulp and changing it and trying to make it as close as possible to the paper that I am working on. And I think that's what got me in trouble with the bozos at CGC who graded the Captain Marvel Adventure number 27, because when they gave me the restored grade, it was so close, the pulp that I used, that maybe they couldn't determine that it was leaf casting. So right there, we just put a piece of Tengojo paper on the wet first wrap of the paper. Now, I want to put Tengojo paper here as well, because we're going to leaf cast that section, and I'm going to spread it out a little bit. I'm going to put it just like this. So that's a piece there, nice with the water. It's going to adhere it. And then what do we got here? We got this. I may fill that top piece, the whole top piece, because that is in a little difficult shape as well. So let's rip a piece, and I'm gonna put a whole piece right here, and I hope Roger doesn't mind that there may be some graphic haziness. And I know he doesn't mind, Roger. I know he's happy that I'm doing this book and putting all the time in that I'm doing, and he could not be happier. So I want to put one last piece of Tengojo paper. You know what? I'm going to put it against this whole section as well. Okay, just like that. And then this will all be leaf casted, because we're going to fill it in. And I don't like down here too. I'm going to reinforce the whole front page, because it's an important page and will, I think, give it service to the benefit of the user, which is Roger, and it will be a better product, because this Tengojo paper is a great product in my opinion. So I'm ripping it. There we go. And we're going to put it on the bottom, just like that. Okay. Just like that. And then I just want to put one more piece to solidify the bottom here. And we'll fray it, because fraying is key. All you guys out there who like to use the tape, make sure you fray it. If you have any questions about it, feel free to hit me up on Instagram. Okay, now what we have here is a regular artist brush. Then I'm going to take the artist brush, and I am going to apply methyl cellulose to the repair with the Tengojo paper. Now, Tengojo is a specific area in Japan that developed this paper, and the Japanese are very particular with conserving ancient documents. Now, I watch on YouTube and online a lot of uploads with Japanese conservationists, because it's an ancient culture, Japan, a very old culture with the dynasties and the imperial families, and they really take their stuff serious. So they like to preserve their culture, and a lot of it is dealing with artwork, with documents in relation to the royal family and things of that nature that date back hundreds and hundreds of years. So they're very particular in conserving documents, and I have to respect them for that fortitude in preserving. It's really a nice thing. I like the conservation process. So here we go. We're putting the methyl cellulose on, and I apologize if this is going to be a long upload, but I do get people who say that they would prefer a longer upload, and I hope this is achieving the goal instead of making a bunch of short uploads. Because I'll tell you right now, with this cover, or the first wrap, stop saying cover, I am going to do it in 2 uploads. And the 2 uploads will be this in preparing the first wrap for leaf casting, which I'm doing now. And then it's going to be the leaf casting upload. And then hopefully after the leaf casting, I'll have a continuation of the results of this, or maybe I'll do a third one. I'm uncertain. Okay, so right there, we're done. I installed the Tengojo paper, and now what I want to do is I want to put the first piece of, or the top piece of Rime on the actual first wrap. There you go. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to get my trusty shelf that I have, and bear with me. We'll lift this up. Actually, just give me a second, because I'm going to get rid of this wee pad. And Mike, if you're watching this whole thing, because I know people tune out, they don't watch the whole thing. I have to confess, I don't watch the whole upload at times of people in the community, their uploads. I do my best, but I support so many channels who support me, and I would have to quit my job if I watched full time everyone's upload. It's very hard. So what I do sometimes is I will... Okay guys, I'm back. I am sorry about that, but what happened was I thought the video stopped because I am babbling too much. Maybe that guy has a point who commented that I talk too much. So I wanted to check the camera. So what I have here is the first wrap between the 2 pieces of Rime, and after applying the Tengojo paper. This is a shelf, very important. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a piece of paper towel, put it on top, and then what we're going to do is we are going to take another piece of glass, and I'm going to put the piece of glass on top, just so it dries flat. I want it to dry flat. And that's it, guys. We are done. We are finished with this upload. The next upload, what we'll do, there's the other pieces, and look at the damage that there is that I have to work on. But the next upload, this will be dry, and then I will prepare the leaf casting pulp. We're gonna have to work on that to try to match it up with the clean paper. So stay tuned, YouTube, and thanks for stopping by.